1 minute. Started.
Yes, like
A pleasant morning to our respected chief guests, beloved principals, sir, my friendly colleagues, my dear students, and participants from various institutions. I hope that you're fit and fine at the homes. I deem it a great honor to deliver the welcome speech on this special occasion. A beautiful smile is the best universal welcome. It can make the day a good day easily. With this note, on behalf of SNS College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, I heartily welcome our distinguished chief guest, Mr. Joseph Pereira George, sir, respected principal, Dr. Karthikeyan, sir, faculty members, my dear students, and participants from various institutions to this one-day international webinar on opportunities in industrial pharmacy. Now, I request Professor M. Kavya, Department of Pharmaceutical Analysis, to give a brief introduction about today's speaker. Please, ma'am.
thank you, ma'am. A very warm welcome to one and all present here. I'm profusely overjoyed to take this opportunity to introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. Joseph Pereira George, Chief Formulation Officer, Cevello Incorporation, Canada, for today's international webinar. He has completed his B.Pharm from Kerala and his higher education in pharmaceutical biotechnology from Durham College, Ontario, Canada. Started his career from Cipla Private Limited, Bangalore, as a production officer in anti-cancer solid formulation department. Following his post-graduation diploma, he continued his growth in industrial pharmacy as a soft gelatin formulator from Factors Laboratories, Canada. Later, he started working as an R&D technologist at Valence Grow Works, Canada. Mr. Joseph Pereira, who is having a fruitful knowledge in various branches of pharmaceutical industry, has proved his expertise in pharma and nutraceutical formulation, pharmacognosy and phytochemistry, medicinal and analytical chemistry, regulatory affairs, and GMP procedures. He is a multi-skilled and confident person with a strong scientific knowledge and also possesses a thorough knowledge in physicochemical properties of active ingredients and as well as excipients. Currently, he is working as a Chief Scientific Officer in Formulation Department of Cevello Incorporation, British Columbia, Canada, where his responsibility includes to design multivariate pre-formulation studies of different formulations of a particular drug and also to help in managing clinical trials. Today we are here to listen on opportunities in industrial pharmacy, which is a topic in which we all be deeply interested because pharmacy career is well known nowadays and each year there are many more graduates passing out. Many people think pharmacy is restricted to a couple of careers, but there are so many careers and courses that are you can pursue after graduating the B.Pharm. So industrial pharmacy is one amongst them. Now, on behalf of one and all present here, I would like to invite Mr. Joseph George Pereira to give his precious input to our dear students and all the participants. I hope this session will help you to get a vast knowledge regarding your future career. So now the section is yours. Please take it over.
Um, Good evening. I mean, good morning to you. It's like good evening. It's like 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. local time here. And thank you so much, Vishali and Kavya, for your wonderful welcome speech and introduction. And thanks, Doctor, for letting me be here. It's such a great opportunity, and I am really honored to be here. Um, I hope you guys can hear me and you can see me. So today I am here to okay. Guys, give me a minute. Let me try share my screen. Okay. I guess you can see this, right? Can somebody confirm if it's you can see the screen?
Hello. We can see it, sir.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So, alrighty. So, again, my name is Joseph, and I go by Joe. I live in British Columbia, province of Canada. I've been living in Canada for the last 9 years, and I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for almost 10, 11 years. Starting from India, I used to work in Cipla. Then now I came here to Canada, did my advanced diploma in biotechnology, and since then I've been working with various industries. So honestly speaking, this is such a dry subject. Like it's like all I can do is just keep on reading the slides and go. And being first years and second years, I guess you guys are first years and second years. I think you guys will come across all the things that I'll be talking today. So don't worry about it. It's it will be definitely useful for you guys, but I mean, if not now, but in the future, definitely it's going to come in handy, especially to people who actually like to work in industry. So a little bit more background about me. I tried to work in pharmacy, and I found that it wasn't for me. And I found I have a passion for industrial pharmacy, especially in pharmaceutics, and that's why I turned towards industrial pharmacy. And from there, I learned a lot of aspects, and then I found that I have a really good talent in research and development. So then I switched my career from production to research and development. So that's about me a little bit. I'll be like mostly focusing on Indian pharmaceutical companies and industry, a little bit of global too. So that's how the session goes. And then I'll be like walking you guys through different aspects, or like different branches of industrial pharmacy, especially in production, quality control, stuff like that. So what is a pharmaceutical industry? Everyone knows that this is like pretty straightforward thing. So pharmaceutical industry, it discovers, develops, produces, markets the pharmaceutical products, biological products, so to the patients, so they can get a cure from disease or ailments they are suffering from. So it's pretty straightforward thing. The thing that we notice here is mainly four aspects, or four main branches of the industries. It actually discovers the drug, it develops the drug, and it manufactures and it markets the drug. So thinking about Indian pharmaceutical industry, it's one of the biggest pharmaceutical industry in the world, especially with generic drugs manufacturing. And we have almost 25% of export around the world from India. So it says it supplies over 50% of the global demand for various vaccines. So we should be really proud about all these factors. 40% of generic demand in the US, generic drugs 40%, and 25% of all medicines in the UK are from India. And then globally, India is the third largest pharmaceutical producer by volume, and by dollar value, it's 14th. And we have 3,000 drug companies and 10,500 manufacturing units. And I don't know if it's an updated one. I think this is from 2010 or 2011. I think it's bigger than that, and this is something we should be proud about. And so the depth of our or the vastness of our Indian pharmaceutical industry is if you look at the dollar value that we do for each year, you would understand how vast and how big is our pharmaceutical industry in the whole market. Especially we have $42 billion of export that is done in 2021, and we're expecting to to reach that to 65 billion, which is huge. And compared to like, so if you look at, if you just give a comparison of like, I mean, IT and electronics and pharmaceutical, you could see pharmaceuticals, like, I mean, more than like, I mean, double when compared to IT and electronics. It is $20.7 billion in 2019. And IT is like, I mean, just about like, I mean, 9.7, like $10 billion. So that's how the difference is. And you guys have to be proud that you are a part of this like multi-billion dollar business, or you will be in the future, will be a part of this. And this is just industrial. So that is why industrial pharmacy is like, I mean, really significant, because if there's like no industrial pharmacy, like there's like no manufacturing, then there won't be any medicines for the pharmacies to sell, and we won't be getting any medicines for the patient. So it's pretty straightforward. And in 2019, so if you could see our share, like, I mean, our export share to North America is like 32.1%. And the next one is in Africa, Europe, and Southeast Asian countries, Latin American countries. And it's such an honor to say that India is called the pharmacy of the world, because like, I mean, past 120 years, India has been supplying the industry, Indian pharmaceutical industry has been supplying medicines worldwide. Like pretty much every continent in the world, we have a presence, which is something that we have to be proud about. So it's like it's not actually a fun fact, but it is something that makes me disappointed. Let me get a disclaimer to this. These facts that I'm going to tell, I just got from some website, so it doesn't have any authenticity, but I think this is relevant in today's world. So the unofficial number says in 2009, India has got 800,000, like 8 lakh pharmacists, registered pharmacists in India, and out of that, like, unfortunately, only 13% works in the industry. That's like almost like 105,000. And right now we have 3,000 companies with 10,500 manufacturing units. And it is so sad to say, like on an average, like 10 pharmacy graduates are working in a manufacturing unit. We study pharmaceutical sciences for 5 years and MPharm for 2 years, but only less than 10 pharmacy graduates are working in pharmaceutical industry, which means this is something shameful for us. I mean, I shouldn't be using that as a strong word, but my point is, we are the ones who are supposed to actually lead the industry, but it's being led by people from other fields. I mean, related fields. For example, organic chemists or biochemists or microbiologists. Just because we are more concentrated in retail pharmacy, I'm not saying retail pharmacy is bad. It's one of the best profession, but again, because we do a lot of studies, like we learn almost like 35 to 40 subjects, and one of the toughest courses, and we study everything about pharmaceutical industry from the scratch. And then we end up in, a lot of people, majority of the people end up in a pharmacy, in a retail pharmacy background. Again, it's not a bad thing, but our talents and our skill sets are not actually used in a pharmaceutical industry, which is a really concern, really alarming. Okay, so that's just a basic background about that. And moving on to the next slide. Sorry. Okay, so just under the organizational chart of a pharmaceutical industry. So mainly it is 5, and I put just packaging just as a separate thing. It starts from research and development, then goes on to quality control, quality assurance, production and manufacturing, sales and marketing, packaging. And one of the most important aspects of pharmacy or industrial pharmacy is regulatory affairs. So it's an overarching regulatory affairs. Guys, can you see the slide?
The slides is not visible now, Joseph. Sir.
Sorry, I think.
Yeah, just now only.
Good. Can you see that?
Yeah, it is loading
Okay.
actually.
Okay, yeah, I think I got some technical problems here. Okay, so I was actually talking about the different branches of industrial pharmacy. And so I think I'm running out of time, so I'm just gonna go a little faster. So research and development has got, it's a multifaceted area of a pharmaceutical industry, mostly with drug discovery, then comes drug development, formulation, process development, pilot and scale-up process, method development, stability testing, package and label development. So this is the main aspects of research and development in a pharmaceutical industry. So speaking of drug discovery, it's pretty understandable discovering a new drug, like a new molecule, and then the steps involved are you identify it, synthesize it, characterization of the drug, and screening and assays for therapeutic efficacy. So all these steps for a drug discovery, we learn it from our B.Pharm classes to M.Pharm and to PhD. So I think I got some problem with my sharing.
The slides are visible, sir.
Yeah, but it's actually it's stuck.
Okay.
Let me redo that first. Please bear with me. I'm just trying to figure this out.
Yeah, it's fine, Joseph, sir. You can take your time.
Thank you. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, I've been explaining about the drug discovery and steps involved in drug discovery, and the next thing is who actually can work in a drug discovery or an R&D for drug discovery. So scientists who are involved in identification, this is characterization of a drug molecule requires, like, mostly they require a master's degree or PhD in organic chemistry, medicinal chemistry, pharmacology, pharmacognosy, molecular biology, and computer science. So this is something a little bit more advanced. So these days, a lot of drug discoveries are done through artificial intelligence. So that's why computer science, like knowledge of artificial intelligence, like programs like AI that uses a lot of programs to do drug discovery has become a really critical thing in the in the industry. So if you could see why we use that, it's because AI can recognize hit and lead compounds. So before, like in the olden days, it used to take like at least like a minimum of 5 to 7 years to actually do the drug discovery part and come up with an active molecule. But with the discovery of like AI, like artificial intelligence, this has become like something that makes everyone's life easy. So if you could see in here, a lot of tools they use for drug discovery, for example, like Deep Chem. So it could easily find a suitable candidate in drug discovery, and Deep Tox is for to find the toxicity. And in the olden days, you have to actually do toxicity testing, even now on animals or some sort of cells or things like that. And then deep neural net QSR is for like molecular activity of compounds, and AlphaFold is for 3D structures of proteins, and drug ligand binding affinity. So all these are really now useful in drug discovery. So the fun part is a computer expert with a knowledge of all this like softwares, who's got a basic knowledge of chemistry, can now develop a drug on his own. So that is something, it is really interesting, but at the same time, when it comes to us pharma graduates, it's actually a threat to our job. So a person with a basic chemistry knowledge can do a lot more things than a person who has got PhD if he has got tools like Deep Chem, Deep Tox, and other tools. So this is something I recommend you guys, like a lot of these tools you could actually learn by yourself. There are a lot of platforms that you could actually use to learn these things. So try to start learning a computer based like a CAD VC, computer aided drug design, and get used to it. At least know the names and at least know what they're used for. So that's going to help you a lot in the future to advantage your career when you come to something like a drug discovery with. So you'll be having a knowledge in the pharma side and the chemistry side of the drug and the pharmacology side of the drug, plus the softwares. That's going to take you far in your future. So this is pretty important thing. And likewise, another important thing is mathematics. Like math is such a powerful tool in pharmacy. So if you're given an opportunity to learn computer and math in your pharma, in your B Pharm or in Pharm, never deny it, because math and computer comes handy every day. Like you have to do your work in the computer every day. You have to do different softwares. You got to do a lot of calculation. Your chemistry or pharmacology might not come handy every day, but math and computer is pretty important in pharmacy. And coming back to the next step is drug development formulation. So drug development has basically 3 steps. formulating a drug and finding the dose and establishing the safety and efficacy of the drug. So,
Excuse me, Joseph sir, the slides are not moving, I think.
really?
Uh,
Okay.
so the present slide is drug discovery opportunities.
Yeah, okay. Let me try resharing that. How about now?
Uh, yeah, it's loading actually. We'll wait. Yes, it's fine now. Drug development formulation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's clear now, sir.
I'm really sorry. I'm new to this, so that's why I actually don't know if it's working or not. So please feel free to stop me. Okay.
It's absolutely fine, sir. It's not an
Okay.
issue. It's fine.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So basically, like what I'm trying to do is like I'm just like walking you through different areas of pharmaceutical industry, plus some of the roles that being a pharmacist or like industrial pharmacist that you can actually hold in a pharmaceutical industry. So in a formulation, like a successful formulation scientist, qualification is like, I mean, at least bachelor's with 5 to 6 years of experience in formulation, and then master's is an asset plus experience in pharmaceutics, industrial chemistry, biotechnology, physical chemistry, etc., and experience in different formulations like tablets, capsules, injections, topicals, stuff like that. And moreover, they people who work in formulation, it's always good to have an overview of like a knowledge about for quality control and quality assurance and other streams too. So the next part is clinical research. So once the molecule is being identified and it's been formulated, so it's like sometimes the clinical research, is done before formulating. Sometimes it's done after formulating. Anyway, so clinical research scientists, they're the ones who actually do the safety and efficacy studies, and they do animal testing and other in vivo and in vitro testing for the drug molecule that's been tested for different efficacy and activity. Most of the time, they have titles of clinical research scientist or clinical data scientist, and pharmacokinetic scientist is something a little bit more added on to a clinical research scientist. Most of these positions actually need a master's or PhD degree. Moreover, it's all about experience. Like, I mean, more the experience, really better you can perform in these jobs. Again, you can see on the second point, non-compartmental pharmacokinetic analysis with softwares, applications such as Phoenix, Vinolin, and stuff. So these softwares help you to actually identify the pharmacokinetics of the drug, and then they're like other tests and other AI, artificial intelligence, to actually study the pharmacodynamics as well as the whole ADME of the drugs. So again, software knowledge is such an asset for these kind of jobs, plus reporting. Like scientists, the scientists, their job is to collect data and reporting. So again, computer and then a lot of them needs statistic knowledge and statistics too. And the next comes the process development and scale up. So process development is most of the companies employ people like process engineers and method engineers to actually do these kind of jobs. But I have worked in process development. Anyone with an idea of a little bit of engineering and a little bit of technology, they can actually learn more and use their skills in process development and process engineering. It's something. What we do is like, so two scenarios. The benchtop trials we do in a lab, so you cannot actually take it and then scale it directly in a production environment. So what you have to do is you have to take the knowledge from the benchtop trials, and then you have to apply your physical and chemical knowledge to scale it up from, say, for example, in making for capsule making, you have in a benchtop trial, you make 5,000 capsules in a benchtop trial. If you want to scale it up to 50,000, you have to actually get help from a process engineer. So process engineers actually act as a bridge between the formulation group and the production group. So they take the benchtop trials from the formulation group, and then they scale it up, apply their knowledge, their machine, their design, their construction and everything, and then they scale it up to and optimize it to a level where the production people can take over and run it again and again and again with no failures. So that's the role of a process development and scale-up engineer. And a person with pharmaceutical engineering diploma, they could actually work as a process development and a pilot plant operator, pilot plant manager, stuff like that. So next comes stability testing. Pretty straightforward thing. Once we finish our formulation and once it's all good, once you think we're confident, we put that for stability testing for, we call it like accelerated stability testing. And it could be for 3 months, it could be for 6 months, it could be for 9 months. And they do have stability chemists that who are skilled in doing stability testing, and what pretty much any bachelor's in science, chemistry or equivalent degree holders can do stability testing. All they need is just some hands-on training with equipment like gas chromatography, HPLC, UV IR, and mostly like GMP knowledge, and then harmonization, ICH guidelines, etc., stuff like that. And that next comes the fun part. It's pharmaceutical manufacturing. So again, pretty straightforward. It's manufacturing of drug or synthesis of drugs. So like I said before, once the process engineers finish their scale-up process, and once it's optimized, once it's ready to go into a machine that is all ready to manufacture, millions and millions of capsules and doses of vaccines or whatever, that's when the manufacturing people take over from the formulation, from the R&D to the manufacturing, like pharmaceutical manufacturing. And opportunities, let's start from the very bottom. Production technicians. So production technicians are people who actually do all the manual labor in a manufacturing facility. You could see a lot of titles there, cleaner operator, bioprocess technician, chemical process technician, manufacturing operator, stuff like that. Like pretty much people who operates the machine. So they're the ones who actually take the documentation, maybe batch manufacturing records or something, and then they're the ones who goes out, weigh the products, weigh the raw materials, and then run the machines and stuff like that. Qualification, I think most of the companies, they only ask for grade 12 or diploma courses, diploma in engineering, diploma in pharmacy. These people don't get to make any decisions. So they are under production technologist, and they have to follow everything that's been given by the production technologist. And the next category is the production technologist. So that is where the production, the role of the production technologist, to ensure everything is running smooth, proper functioning, and the documentation is correct, and the production technicians are doing their job. It's kind of like supervise the production technicians and make sure everything is running smooth. Qualifications are diploma in pharmacy against, and B Farm people, they can with a bit more experience, they can actually work as production technologists. And I personally started as a production technician here in Canada. So the advantage of that is I got a lot of hands-on experience. So when I moved to R&D, when there were some sort of issues, or when there was some sort of troubleshooting, just because I had hands-on experience on production as a production technician, I could easily figure out. I could sit in my office and I could tell them, hey, this is a problem, so fix that. So even though production technician is a low-profile job, the experience that you gain from being a production technician is huge, and you can only gain that experience by working there. Then comes supervisors and managers. So most of the time, the production technologists with 5 or 6 years of experience, they can apply for as a managers and supervisors in a manufacturing company. Bachelor's or masters in pharmacy and pharm is an asset. Plus, masters in business administration is a really great asset. Balachandran and Prem Kumar, I've seen your questions. I will get back to you in a minute during the QA session. Thank you, guys. So that's about the production supervisors and managers. And then comes senior director. So most of the time, senior director, they are the ones who are actually responsible for everything that's happening in a production plant. They report straight to the CEO of the department, or maybe the chief production officer. And this is a really high profile, and this has got greater responsibilities. Mostly, again, people with 10 to 15 years of experience, people who's got MPharm, people got PhD, people with MBA, they are the ones who normally take up that role. Their role also entails that they have to work with other department and make sure the production and everything is going well. Pretty straightforward. Then comes quality control. So quality control, again, this is such an important factor in a production facility, because quality control people, as you all know, they're the ones who test it. They're the ones who tell us the material that we manufacture is good, or is it up to the standard, or is it saleable product, stuff like that. So they pretty much save the people life. So thanks to technology, we got a lot of equipment that could actually capture every variation, parts per billion level, so that we can assure that the product that is being manufactured from our facility is of really high standard. And again, different levels of hierarchy are also there in the quality control lab. Um, Quality control technician, mostly people with a diploma in any chemistry or any science, they are the ones who go into quality control technician jobs. Pretty much the same as a production technician. They're the ones who actually make the reagents, do documentation, and they're the ones who are responsible to make sure the place is all clean, all good for the test to be conducted. They are the ones who go to the production unit and then collect the samples, stuff like that. And again, diploma in sciences is more than enough to get into that job, at least here in Canada. And experience is, it's a great asset. Then comes the technologist. That's where the actual QC analyst position is. Those are the people who actually perform the testing in all the pharmaceutical products, like raw materials and finished products and packaging and everything. So they have to follow the standards, like pharmacopoeia standards and everything. And the qualification is, again, you can get into a quality control lab with a bachelor's degree in sciences. Experience is an asset, and master's too. And there's like another one too. I haven't put it here. It's called quality control scientist. So for that, they actually ask for an M.Pharm or PhD. So quality control scientists, what they do is they're the ones who actually develop methods for a new product, for testing methods for new products, and they do work closely with the QC lab as well as R&D lab. And then again, lab manager, supervisor, they have to manage the lab. They have to supervise the work. They have to do all the planning and everything. They are the ones who are responsible for all the activities that's been done in a lab. Quality control director, again, same as that of director from the production. They have to run, like they're the part of the senior leadership team, and they have to run everything together and make sure everything is going pretty good. And then master's degree or PhD in science is preferable. Guys, I'm going a little faster here because I think I'm taking up too much time. Anyway, getting back to QA, so quality assurance is they are the ones who actually ensures that every activity that is being done in a pharma industry is going according to the quality standards. So they make a quality systems, and they have quality assurance for production. They have quality assurance for raw material procurement. They have quality assurance for quality control. QA is mostly QA is documentation. So what they say about QA is anything that is not being documented is not done, because when you do something, you have to document it on a piece of paper or on the batch records, and everything that's been documented will be verified and validated by the QA people, and they're actually the police in a pharma industry. Again, different roles are quality assurance specialist, diploma or bachelor's degree, quality assurance technologist. Again, it's something related to documentation and stuff like that. Then documentation specialist. This doesn't need an actual pharma or science degree. Anybody with a general degree can be, because this is more of a documentation document file keeping, stuff like that. But again, it's a pretty regulated thing, pretty important thing in a pharma industry. And the other part of quality assurance, in some companies, validation is a separate department, but a lot other companies, validation is really go together with quality assurance. And validation engineers are people who actually validate the process, the method, and the production for everything that's been done in that industry. Pharmaceutical engineers and chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, all these people are eligible to work as a validation technician and validation engineer. And again, comes to quality assurance senior manager. Again, the same thing. Quality assurance senior manager or director, he's responsible for overlooking the activities of all these quality control, quality assurance, and everything is being done properly. And he's responsible to take CAPA, that's what we call corrective actions, preventive actions. If something goes wrong, he's the one who has to be held responsible, and he's the one who has to be answerable for if some mishap, something happens in a production or in the quality department. And so, like I said, regulatory affairs, it is involved in all these things that we've talked just now. Regulatory is like, pretty big thing. They are the lawyers of our pharma industry. So they are the ones who actually work with the government. They're the ones who keep track of the legislation, changes in the legislation. If you want to develop a new drug, you have to go to the regulatory people and get a permission from them and get approval from them, so that you can be sure that it is all these drugs and all these activities and all this R&D production is actually being approved by the government or the local legislation. Or if you want to export that to other countries, you have to comply with that export. That the countries exporting rules and regulations. So again, regulatory people, they help us in doing that. So these are the people who actually keeps everything regulated, everything in an order, and these are the people who actually talk to the government all the time. So you can see a lot of, a couple positions here, like regulatory affairs specialist, associate manager, and the head of regulatory affairs department. There are courses after a degree. You can go and get a regulatory affairs diploma or a master's in regulatory affairs. But being said that, regulatory affairs comes through practice. You got to practice a lot. You got to read a lot. You need to understand some sort of legal terms. You need to understand how the regulation works with the government. And the biggest attribute towards this is communication, because you are communicating with the government officials. So you have to be in that standard to perform these kind of jobs. Sales and marketing, you guys all know, it's pretty much what we say in like a medical representative. Two types, mostly like medicines and then medical devices. I'm not going, and the qualification, it doesn't need a master's degree or PhD. Sorry, that's a mistake. I think anybody with a degree can apply for that job, and then you'll get trained by the company. So, guys, I think that's it about an overview of the industry. So, yeah, just to sum up the pharma industry. Yeah. So I haven't talked about packaging. It's nothing but packaging is a different. It's a separate entity. We got primary packaging units, secondary packaging units. We do have R&D for developing new packaging and stuff. I'm not going into that deep right now. Packaging is more of engineering side, so that's why I'm not touching that much more. So again, this is an overview of what we have gone through today, and that's it, guys. Kavya, ma'am, I've got a small project for them. Do you mind if I give it to them?
Yeah, yes, Joseph, sir, you can hand over it, no issues.
Okay, yeah.
So talk with the students directly.
Yeah. So this is a small mini project. Do it only you're interested. So this is what I like you guys to do. I really apologize. I haven't um, got permission from the professors to present this idea. But if you think this is great, yeah, you guys can execute it. So try to like brainstorm some ideas that you could think you can actually uh, do as a pharmaceutical product or a nutraceutical product. And I want you to write a business proposal about the idea that you have in mind, and submit it to your professor. So I can share a business proposal template with you. And again, the best proposal will get a prize. Yeah, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, my presentation. Also, just one last thing. So I've been like most of the things I've been talking to you, you might have noticed a lot of things is not exclusive for pharma people. It's always been shared by pharma and engineering. So if anybody would like to actually go into a industrial pharma, make sure you have a thorough knowledge in physical pharmacy and pharmaceutical engineering, which is really great. And if you're open to learn engineering principles and stuff, do that. That will help you a lot. And like I said, I don't remember. You guys have something called a project. Okay. Sorry, I cannot remember on top of my head. I saw that on the flyer. It says it's the first in the university that you guys are doing. Anyway, it's always good that you have a lot of engineering people around. So try to collaborate with people like that, and try to collaborate your ideas. And then, yeah, I wish you everyone a great success in the future, and hopefully I see a lot of people that comes out from your institution in a lot of industries in India and abroad. Thank you guys. Really appreciate your time. I told 20 minutes. I think it's almost an hour. I'm really sorry.
It's fine, sir. It was very interesting, actually. So the students were also very responsive. They are asking a lot of questions and queries. So can I share it with you now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So one student from B Farm, he is asking, can a B Farm graduate can work as a process engineer there, sir?
You could, because I'm a BFAM graduate. I work as a process engineer. Like I said, you have to have some sort of knowledge in pharmaceutical engineering. In my case, like I said before, since I worked in production department, I have a good idea about machines and stuff. So you could definitely work as a process engineer. But if you think a process engineering, you want to take it as a career for next, like, say, 20 years or something, my recommendation would be after BPharm, you could actually take something like a chemical engineering or something that is related to engineering, like a process engineering, things like that, and go deep dive into that. Good question. Thanks.
Okay, so one more student is asking, what are the courses that we can pursue after B Farm to have jobs in Canada?
They're like a myriad of courses. You can actually do masters, MS, like masters in science and pharmacology. Pharmacognosy is like not much, but they're like a couple universities that offer that, and pharmaceutics, biochemistry, biotechnology. So it all depends on your taste. Good thing about B Farm course in India is we learn. It's a vast ocean, so we get exposed to pretty much everything. For example, biotechnology, microbiology, biochemistry, pretty much every aspect of science. So the question is, what are you interested in? What is your passion? What are you passionate about? So if you find that you have a good passion in biotechnology, take that, go for masters. Or if you think you are really good in pharmacology, go for it. And that's the master's stream. And diploma courses are there. A lot of diploma courses are there. Analytical chemistry, environmental sciences there, biotechnology, say microbiology, a lot of diploma courses. So the good thing about diploma courses are, if you're like studying in Canada, a lot of diploma courses, they actually help you to work in an industry. So it's not like a book learning; it's more of a practical.
Yeah, thank you, sir. One more question. Hello, sir. Give me an idea about what are the software skills should I pursue rather than AI?
Like anything. I would even say if you have a skill in Adobe Photoshop, even that comes in handy for your presentation or whatever. So, yeah, say for example, Excel is a great tool. I mean, I use Excel pretty much every day. And something I forgot to tell you is project management is something that is coming up these days. A lot of pharma graduates who complete the BPharm, they get a master's in project management. Like every company in the world, they need a project manager. So especially in the pharma industry, if you have a background knowledge in pharmacy and if you have a project management degree, you could become a great manager or a director in such a short period of time. It's such a really attractive job. And project management, they got a lot of softwares they use, project management softwares, Smartsheet, Pereira, stuff like that. Then yeah, pretty much like basic, all the like Microsoft softwares. Like it's always come in handy for your computer purpose. How evaluation mark is done in PBC exam. Okay, so that is something I cannot answer because I am not a pharmacist here. I'm an industrial pharmacist. So in Canada, pharmacy course is only for retail pharmacists or hospital pharmacists. So what they do is once they finish the pharmacy course, people who want to work in a pharmacy, they go there and they take the course. And other people who want to work in the industry, they take biochemistry or medicinal chemistry or stuff like that. We don't have something called a BPharm course here per se, but if you're like really interested in PBC, I can actually share the website and other details. But as of now, I'm not a pharmacist and I haven't appeared for PBC because honestly, I was like too lazy to do that. So yeah.
Okay, fine, sir. One
What
more
should be-
question.
yeah.
What should be a minimum qualification to become an R&D scientist in Canada?
Qualification, you could become an R&D scientist with a bachelor's degree, but more it's all about experience. Like I mean, how much experience do you have in different field? Because like I said, R&D is like I mean again overarching with quality assurance, quality control, production, and everything. So I would again say my example. I transitioned from different departments, then came to R&D. So it's not just qualification, but I would say quantity, like how much experience you have in each department. So that helps too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No problem at all.
Lot of questions are coming actually, so I have to select some of them.
Yeah.
Uh, okay.
Can I pick one
Some,
question? Hey, Kavya.
sorry, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you mind if I pick a question? I would really like to answer that.
I want to ask
Um,
some question. Yeah, you are going to ask some questions, sir?
No. Like someone named Kiruna. Oh, I'm really sorry. It's the last question. Kiruna Navu Karasu. Hey, I'm really sorry. I can.
Tiruvanakarasu, sir.
Yeah.
Tiruvanakarasu. Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. He asked a really good question. What are the difficulties and troubles you face in the field during work, and what are the steps we should follow to get a good job? So, two questions. Difficulties and troubles. Definitely, like anyone who's an immigrant that came from India to Canada, faced a lot of problems. And a lot of problems still students face today is lack of communication. So the problem is in India, or the language is our mother tongue, we don't have a lot of words to express. But here in English, they have words to express each and everything. So they call it like open-ended communication and closed-ended communication. So sometimes people ask you a question. People over here, they answer in such a way that the listener, they won't be having any more doubts about it. So that is one thing I faced as a problem here, like a challenge here at the first to communicate. Like, I mean, it's not about the language, it's about how to communicate efficiently. So something that I would suggest you guys like practice from today, like get some communication skill, bring people who are like, I mean, really can help you with good communication. Like even in your mother tongue, like try to be precise, try to speak your ideas and think before you speak. The second thing I faced is, again, when I started working here, like I I was kind of like overqualified for the job that I was doing. So I've been having a lot of struggle in coping with a lot of things. So it's kind of like a soft skill that there are like times you have to like, um, like bring yourself down, be humble and learn things. That is something I struggled. I think it's pretty much more of my ego thing. Um, Other than that, it's pretty good. And one positive thing I should say is, in India we learn everything from the scratch, which comes in handy for me a lot of time to prove something is wrong, to prove something is right. I really appreciate my education from India helped me a lot. And what are the steps we should follow to get a good job? It's always be positive, like really be positive. Um, try to try to be open-minded for whatever job that comes to you. If it's relevant to your field, take it. Even if it's like a small position, take it. And the main thing is learn. Never stop learning. Keep on learning, even if it's not your field. Learn. Keep on learning. So that is something that keeps you on top of the priority list for a recruiter to hire you. I think I've answered your question. Thank you. And I really like the question.
Okay, so fine. So I missed a lot of questions during the first sections. So can I read it, sir, now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One student, Rakshana, was asked, "Can I do my M.Pharm or MS in Canada? Does it will be effective for my career in India?"
Of course, yeah. In India, yeah. I think like I know like people who actually finish their masters and MS and stuff here in Canada and States, and then went back, and they're like doing great job in India. Yeah. So yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay, fine, sir. One more last question I will
Again,
ask you.
let me interrupt you. There's like a really good question here by
Okay,
Srikanth.
okay.
Hey, that's such a great question, buddy. It says how to handle the human errors in drug formulation in industry. So to answer that, Yeah, the same question. To answer that, formulation or R&D is the place you can make your maximum errors. So that's how you learn. Like research and development means you're learning new things, you are correcting yourself, you're going to a successful path through the errors that you make. For example, like temperature for a vaccine, it should be kept in, like say less than 20 degrees Celsius. Someone put that in 23 or 24, so it get destroyed. So you learn your mistake. So you got a lot of room to make mistakes in R&D, but zero room for mistakes in production. So keep that in mind. R&D is a place where you can make mistakes. You can play with whatever you want, but make progress through your mistakes. But no room for error in a production department, because you are dealing with human life. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. So if we start answering to all questions, it will take a lot of time, I think. So
Yeah, I
we
guess
are
so.
very glad.
Thank you,
So I
sir.
think we will move on.
Thank you, sir, for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us, sir. Now I request Professor M. Kavya to deliver the vote of thanks. Please, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. So you have shared a lot of experience and a lot of good things with our students, and our students are very much interested while during the webinar. So I would like to thank everyone. So very warm good morning to one and all present here. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this special day on behalf of SNS College of Pharmacy and entire fraternity of the institution. I take immense pleasure in extending my sincere thanks to today's eminent speaker, Mr. Joseph Pereira George, the Chief Formulation Officer, Cevello Incorporation Canada, who despite of his busy schedule found time to raise this webinar with his extremely relevant address on opportunities of industrial pharmacy. So today's webinar will help the participants to get an idea on how they can build up their future career after completing the graduation. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. S.N. Subramanian Avakal, Chairman of SNS Group of Institutions, Dr. S. Rajalakshmi Avakal, Correspondent of SNS Group of Institution, Dr. S. Nalin Vimalkumar Avakal, the Native Design Thinker and the Technical Director of SNS Group of Institution, Dr. D. Karthikeyan Sir, the Principal of SNS Group of SNS College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, for always encouraging us and providing us opportunities to organize such type of events. And my deep sense of appreciation for all the principals, HODs, faculties, and my dear students, the budding pharmacists, and all the participants who chose to be live with us and extended the webinar with great enthusiasm and made it a successful event. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Mrs. Betty Ma'am for all the technical supports and webcast arrangement made for this international webinar. Thank you all once again. Have a good day. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the time. Yeah,
So it was a very good and interactive section, actually.
yeah. Good to know. Thank you. All right. So I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fine,
man.
sir.
And thank you, doctor. Thank you, Kavya, Vishali, and Betty, ma'am, for arranging this. It was really, really wonderful. Really honored to be here.
Okay.
All right.
Fine, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good night from here. Bye. Bye, guys.
Okay, thank you. Good night, sir.